Hello beautiful people. So today I wanted to talk about positive ways to track your progress on your fitness journey. So this is a conversation I have with all my clients when they very first come to me, and today I'm kind of more focusing on those who come to me with the goal of weight loss or fat loss. So the typical way to track progress, and the one that everyone tends to lean towards, is weighing yourself on the scales. Now, in this video, I'm not saying scales are a bad thing, but if you find that they're impacting you in a negative way, so they're giving you a poor body image or they're making you feel demotivated if you see that you've gone up a little bit, then perhaps it's not the best way for you to track your progress. They're also not the most accurate things in the world. I mean, in a day, your weight can fluctuate between 2 and 4 pounds, maybe even a little bit more, depending on whether you've eaten that day, how well you've trained, what you've eaten. So if you've had quite a high carb meal or a high salt meal, then your body will be holding on to more water, so you'll probably weigh a little bit more. What your hormones are doing, what your digestion is doing, so many different factors can alter that number just in one day. Also, over a longer period of time, you know, if you've been training for 6 weeks or 12 weeks and you're on a resistance-based program, you will have put on muscle, but the scale doesn't know the difference between muscle and fat. It just weighs what is there. So just because you haven't necessarily lost weight, it doesn't mean you haven't lost fat. And remember that muscle weighs more than fat anyway. Okay, so if we're not using the scales to track our progress, what other methods are there? Well, number one, performance-based tracking. So whenever I give my clients their programs, they will write down, for example, in the resistance section, what weights they've done, how many sets they've done, and how many reps they've done. Or in the cardio section, what equipment they've used, what the speed has been or the incline, and how they felt afterwards. So by doing that, we can track whether they are getting stronger and whether they're getting fitter and whether what they're doing is working for them. And anything else, you know, the fat loss and the physical appearance, the changes in physical appearance that comes with that, is just a bonus because they feel healthy and fit and strong. Secondly, taking progress pictures is a really good way to see if what you're doing is actually working. Because you see yourself on an everyday basis, sometimes it's hard to notice a difference, and that can be quite demotivating. But if you take a picture of yourself from week 1, for example, and week 6 of your training program and compare them, you will notice a difference. As long as you've been doing everything right, you know, you've been eating well and you've been training 3 or 4 times a week, depending on your program, then you will definitely notice a difference, and that will help motivate you to keep going for the next 6 weeks. Thirdly, taking measurements. So with a tape measure, measuring your waist, your arms and your thighs, for example, again, is quite a good way to track progress. It's a bit more accurate than the scales. You know, you may have lost fat on your arms, for example, and put on a bit of muscles, so they'll appear slimmer and more toned. So there will be a difference in the measurements in inches or centimetres, whatever you choose to use there, which can be really motivating. Also, using your clothes to kind of see whether what you're doing is actually working. So is there an item of clothing that you couldn't fit into before and now it fits perfectly? Or is there something that you feel really confident in now that you would have felt too self-conscious to wear before? You know, it's worth keeping note of that and how you feel when you're wearing certain items of clothing and how things fit as well. And lastly, how do you feel in general? So taking time to reflect and think about, is your sleep better? Is your general mood better? Is your digestion better since you've been eating a slightly different diet? Like, all these things come into play and show whether you're making progress in what you're doing. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope that helps you a little bit, and I will make more videos like this soon to give you little tips. As ever, if you have any questions or you just want to chat, feel free to message me, and I'll see you all soon.